All right.
You ready to get after it today?
Yeah, I'm there.
Uh,
I'm trying to get there. It's like these long weekends get me.
Dude, it was so nice. But now I'm like, all right, well, now I need a vacation from my vacation.
Seriously.
Can anybody help me with that?
Yeah.
I, I'm good. I'm ready.
You ready, Freddie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I am too. What's up?
What's up, man?
We're just to start off like that. What's
That's
up?
perfect. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm
Good,
good.
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
know we
been,
sort of talked
yeah.
about it before we jumped on here, but how have you been since our last podcast, man?
It's
Since our
been,
last recording?
I've been good. This week flew by fast. It was nice that it was a short week. Um, just a lot of training this week. And then, yeah, Thanksgiving. Friday was a nice lazy day. Um, met with that one gentleman out of Mexico. We had our little meeting. It's really interesting. Um, I'll tell you more about that later. And then, yeah, Saturday didn't do too much. Finally got Allison's car. That pulled the trigger on that, and she's super excited about it. I'm excited for her. It's gonna be a sweet ride for her for the time being. Now, next 15 years. Can't believe the last one lasted 15 years for her, but I'm glad it did. And hopefully, this next one will last another 15.
Right.
Yeah, today was easy. Today was a nice day. Chilled. I'm glad we had some snow. I'm glad we're seeing some snowfall in the valley. I love it. Oh
Keep that
yeah.
shit in the mountains.
I want it down here too. It make the mountains look really pretty, but
It does,
I like
that's for
having
sure.
snow. Yeah. I used to be, like with the seasons, I used to be just a summer guy. Hated fall, hated winter, was okay with spring, loved summer. Just wanted to be like a summer person all the time. And I was like, California would be awesome to live in just because of like LA, especially just Southern California, because then I could wear flip flops, shorts, and a t-shirt year round and be happy as ever. But now I don't know if it's because of age or just maybe just living here long enough to be like appreciating all four seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I do hate that we have drier seasons the most sometimes. Like this fall was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it when we do get some more rainfall in the fall so that like the leaves pop a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to have like a really mild fall, and I hope this winter's a wet winter so we have all the lakes replenished for getting out of our drought, the constant droughts that we're in.
I I get the logic,
Yeah.
but I'm not logical when it comes to
You,
that, man.
yeah, I
I
know. I get
Give me
it.
fall, and I'm okay with spring. I don't like all the. It's typically colder in spring, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you do get more rain, which
Yeah.
I know we need, but dude, I I do appreciate all the seasons from a logical standpoint.
Yeah.
But just give me fall all year round. Summer's too damn hot, man.
Yeah, it's true. It can be.
Winter, hate the snow. People here in Utah, man, they
It's
struggle to drive in the snow.
it's
So,
so weird. You think that being a mountain city, like people would be comfortable driving in the snow, but it's I guess every year you get those drivers that are not from Utah coming in and just wrecking everything.
mm-hmm.
Just don't know how.
And so when you say that, I'm like, I get what he's saying. It doesn't
Yeah.
make the mountains look real nice, but like keep it off the valley
Yeah.
floor because then I ain't gonna worry about no wrecks or like
Yeah.
trying to get to work.
There
But
was there was one time high school. This is right after I started driving my dad's truck. So short story real quick. I had my first truck was an F-150 1995 just box pickup truck, right?
love those trucks.
Uh it was a great starter vehicle. It was a two-wheel drive truck though. Yeah, and the solution was to put a bunch of weight in the back, right? So you put
Mm-hmm.
my dad just loaded down the back with salt and all that during the winter. I got used to driving it real quick in the snow, and there was a time where I thought that I was a better driver than I was, and I we skipped out on school as an assembly before winter break, and so like my buddies and I were decided to go to play like video games before swim practice. So we're on our way to my friend's house. This is on the way to the pool, and we get into his neighborhood, and the road is just coated with snow. Like it was snowing really hard that day, and I was like, check this out to my buddy. It's like, I can fishtail in this truck. And so I started like hitting the gas a little bit, broke traction, and started fishtailing. Well, I wasn't paying attention to my speed at all and realized I was going way too fast. And I lost control. I actually broke all four wheels, broke traction. And we were going sideways down the street in this neighborhood. And it's just the truck turned into a sled, but it was just out of control sled, right? And I remember just facing the curb, and I see these two trees, or like, sorry, a mailbox and two trees coming up. And I'm like, oh, please, God, don't hit the mailbox. Like, I don't want to hit this mailbox. It's a brick mailbox. And we go up past the mailbox, up the curb and into a tree. Hit the tree. Me and my friend look at each other, and we're like, oh, shit. Like, what did we just do? And I get out of the truck, and I'm just hoping that the truck's fine. I just bumped into the tree, like all of that, right? And I go around, and my truck freaking was bent inwards. I pushed the engine block back, and my whole radiator, everything was shot in it, but it was still running somehow. Miraculously, the truck, like the engine was still going. I looked down the street because we passed my friend's house. My buddy, I just to this day still remember it vivid. He's like hauling ass in his snow boots with a shovel in his hand, literally running like this as he's trying to race over to us. I'm just starting to freak out. One of the neighbors saw everything happen. His neighbor ended up being a cop too. And he comes over and he's like, all right, well, you fucked up. Like, we got to get you out of here. And then we got to go talk to the neighbor and let him know that you hit their tree. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And so he gets in. He's like, all right, where's the 4-wheel drive on this thing? I'm like, yeah, there isn't. He's like, well, get the fuck out and push. So there's 3 of us pushing against the truck to get it unstuck. We get it unstuck. I go talk to the neighbor. I call my mom, and I'm just, of course, freaking out. And she's wondering, like, what the hell are you doing out of school? 1, and then 2, how bad's the damage? And I'm like, well, it's pretty bad. I got to take the truck back to the house. I take it back to the house, and as I'm driving back to the house, my mom's driving to where my buddy's house is at. So I pass her on the road, and I can see her looking at the truck. Her jaw just dropped, and she was so pissed. So I get back to the house. I don't know how I got into the driveway, but I get back in the driveway, and I start shoveling snow. And I'm just imagining like the consequences of my dad, because my mom called my dad on the way, and she just told him what happened. So my dad came home. My dad lit me up, of course. It's
You're like, man, shoveling this driveway, hopefully it eases my punishment.
Yeah,
like,
no,
see
dude, it was so bad. So like, my dad lights me up, rightfully so. Like, I was being a dumbass, and he he forgot. I don't know if he forgot to put his truck into park or what happened, but after he's done chewing me out, I go back out to the driveway to finish shoveling snow, and his truck's in the street. So we were like, it wasn't like that steep of a driveway, but it was on an angle. His truck's like literally in the middle of the road, blocking the neighborhood road. And I go back into the house. I'm like, hey, Dad, I'm not touching your truck. It's in the middle of the road right now, and I don't want to get in it. Like, I'm not moving that thing. He just, he runs out there and pulls it into the garage and everything. And I finished shoveling, and I'm just sitting there. Like, I look at, because the truck's still outside. I'm just looking at him like, man, I regret just ever trying to like impress my buddy or just like look like I was trying to be cool. And we ended up getting it all fixed. But the second part of the story real quick is that my dad he took the truck out the following year because he didn't believe that it was that big of a deal. And I remember him later on that day telling me like, yeah, we need to get you something better. And my mom's like, yeah, we did a full 360 in the neighborhood. He was like going on a corner and took the corner too hard or too fast, and the whole truck just went whoo, like a 360 or 180, whatever the case may have been, but it spun them out. And as at that point, my dad's like, yeah, this truck isn't safe for him to drive. I'm like, I've been telling you that for the whole year. Like, it was so hard. Like, I crashed it, of course, and that was my own fault. But me not even trying to crash it, it could not keep traction on the road at all. So I used to hate snow for that fact, where I was not a terrible driver in the snow, but like, shit would just happen. And I'm like, I cannot can't trust it. And till that day, or from that day, I guess all of my high school friends that remember that story, whenever they have the opportunity to bring it up and remind me, Shane, you're a shitty driver in the snow. And you know what? I'm not. I just decided to be a shitty driver that day. So good times. Good times.
I like it, man.
Since then, trees are not my friend. And Jeeps are my friend. I freaking love my Jeep so much.
There you go, man.
It's been a lifesaver in the snow now.
Right.
And all traction tires, all terrain tires.
There you go.
Start doing promotional, like tire promotions as commercials on this.
Yeah, right.
This is brought to you by Bigfoot. If you want to coach well, you got to make sure you get to your spot on time. Get Bigfoot tires.
Right. There you go.
That way, nobody's waiting on you.
You're going to sell us right now, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, how's your week, Brett? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Last week, like you said, short week, which was nice. I mean, the thing that sucked is my kids ended up sick. So I was working from home. We touched a little bit on this on last podcast, but had to stay home with them. But then I had therapy, which was really good, dude.
Oh, good.
Really helped me out. And then we talked about, feeling better, man. Talked to my wife a little bit about it because, like, when I get done, I'll just go talk to Marquis about like what my session was about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always done it, and so we talked, and it gave me more perspective. It gave her some perspective, right? And I think I'm in a better spot now. And then yeah, we went to Reno to visit my mom and my stepdad for Thanksgiving. My stepdad had just had surgery. Excuse me. So Marquis helped my mom do like all the stuff for Thanksgiving, and then I cooked the turkey. Perfect turkey, by the way. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, look like it. Put it on a smoker.
Yeah, dang right, dude. But yeah, we did that, and then we did like some minor Black Friday shopping. Nothing too crazy, you know, while we were out there. And then we went and watched Zootopia 2. So that was cool. My kids love that movie. And then today was a long ass day. So the last time I flew into Reno, I had a flight out at 6:00 in the morning. I showed up at like 4:30 to the airport. Dude, the line for security was the longest I've ever seen it in the Reno airport. And Reno airport isn't big. And so that shit was long as hell. Dude, I got to my gate as they were closing the door. So this time I'm like, I'm staying awake. Like, we're going to be on time. Like, there ain't nothing happening. So by the time we got home, because I stayed awake, so everything was packed, everything was ready. I could wake my kids up, make sure my wife was ready to go. And then we get ready to leave the house, flight's delayed. And it's like not taking off till 9:00. And at this point, I've been up for almost 24 hours already. And so I'm like,
oh, no.
And so I'm just powering through, like I'm watching movies, like my wife, the kids all go back to sleep. And I'm like sitting here and I can't sleep. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to watch? What movie? Put on a movie. And then we go to the airport. We get in there, we get breakfast, delayed another 40 minutes. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to die. Like, once we're in the airport, I'm so tired. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then we finally get on the plane and I'm watching football. Dude, I couldn't fall asleep. It was like, you know how like you're so tired, but you can't fall asleep?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm just watching football. I'm watching Red Zone on the plane. And then we land, we get home. And we go to watch a movie. Out, dude. I slept all afternoon. Well, I take that back. My wife got us some Tony burgers, which is bomb.
There you go.
And then, dude, I ended up passing out. Woke up a little bit. And then I'm like sitting there looking to see, because I want to watch F1, but I don't want to buy it or rent it because it's like $20 to rent still. And so I was trying to see if it was on Amazon. I fucking fell asleep while I was looking for
Oh
it.
no.
So then I think it was like 5:30 or something like that. My wife is going to the store to get some stuff, and my daughter wakes me up. She's like, "You want anything?" And I'm like, "Oh," looking at the clock, and I'm like, "Oh, damn." So then, like, I get up and I go hop in the shower and whatnot, and now we're here. So it's good. I got a little bit of a nap. Well, I got about
Nice.
5 hours of sleep today because I didn't stay awake for anything once I got home.
Yeah.
But I think that's also the comfort of being in your own home. You know what I mean? Like you get home, it's
Yeah.
nice to be in your own home, relaxed.
Yeah. And
So,
your body finally shuts down mentally. You're like, I'm good now. I'm safe.
yep. So,
I can relax.
yeah, that's it, man. And now we're here. So, glad to be
Hell
here.
yeah. F1's a great movie, by the way.
I know I keep hearing it and I want to watch it, but
I saw it in theaters and then I
uh-huh.
bought it as soon as it came out in digitals. And since I bought it, I've watched it like 4 times, 5 times maybe.
Dude, maybe I'm just gonna buy it. I'm just gonna
It's
fucking buy it.
To me, it's worth it because of what I appreciate about the movie. Because
Hmm.
it's a great Brad Pitt movie and all like
Yeah.
the acting in it was really good. But also, it's like the Top Gun of F1. It's like the camera angles are really awesome, and there's like a lot of good one-liners in my mind. And then it also like kind of from a coaching standpoint, it's kind of cool. Like, for I guess I shouldn't be coaching, but like mentoring,
Hmm.
the character development and all that. It's
Yeah, because
just
he's essentially mentoring like the
mhm,
young up and comer, right?
mhm,
Yeah, dude, like I love it reminds me of like Creed or the newest Top Gun, right?
mhm,
And like
mhm,
those kinds of movies. And dude,
mhm,
those are like my feel good movies. I sit
mhm,
down, I watch it, or if I'm struggling, right? Like if I'm having a time where my mindset's just not the best, I throw on one of those movies because it
mhm.
helps you like get out of it, you know?
Yeah, oh,
So,
one movie that I don't know if you've seen it yet or not, but it's called Air. It's on Amazon actually. It's an Amazon made movie. It's about Michael Jordan, but mostly about
mhm.
Nike.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, because
Oh, okay.
I protested it because I'm a LeBron fan. To hell with Jordan. Because it's about
Don't
Jordan
protest that
shoes.
movie.
Nah.
Don't protest that movie though, because I mean, hey, there wouldn't be any LeBron without Jordan first.
Oh, here we go.
It wouldn't.
Our
There would no.
listeners are going to be torn. They're either going to really like Shane or they're really going to like
There,
Brett. It depends on their basketball and what they like. Oh,
there
man.
wouldn't be a LeBron lineup. There wouldn't even be a Kobe lineup
I was
without
about to say, you
Jordan.
could say that about Kobe, but Jordan and LeBron are not the same.
No,
Kobe mirrored his game.
I'm not.
Oh, you're saying like from the standpoint of like how Jordan brought the NBA back because it was in like debt and whatnot, or am I
No,
assuming the wrong?
you're assuming so many wrong things.
Damn it. I was hoping to
So
get one of them.
no, you're good. So like it's called Air. It's about Air Jordan. It's when Nike got Jordan to sign a shoe deal with Nike so that it would save Nike from the drop in sales that they couldn't manage. It's about just taking a huge risk on essentially funding. So like they had a limited budget and Nike wanted to spread that budget between like 3 NBA players to help with their outreach. But this guy was like, no, I want to put it all on one guy, and that's Jordan. And it's about how he just had the idea come to mind and how he pursued the idea and the amount of weight that was on his shoulders. The movie, though, it's like it's not intense. It's not a drama. It's got Matt Damon, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
It's got some good guys, great acting. It's just a feel good, lighthearted movie, and of course, it's a little bit like nostalgic for me because it's set like in PNW backdrop. So because Oregon, Beaverton, that's
Yeah.
where Nike's headquarters at. So the whole movie is just fun to like kind of watch. Chris Tucker's in it too, and Chris Tucker's character is really fun. But it's just really cool to see the backside of how they got Jordan to come over to Nike and start the Air Jordan lineups. Um, and the amount of money too. At the end of the movie, they kind of tell you how much money Jordan made off of this deal and how much money Nike made off the deal as well. And that movie like makes me feel so excited about like the serendipitous moments of life almost, because like
Mhm.
they were such a like a dire situation. And this guy in particular, he loved basketball. He was traveling all over the country as a scout essentially for like who's going to be the next brand ambassador of Nike. So he was all about basketball, the players, everybody knew him really well. They knew that he could offer contracts, like sponsorships essentially. And it's just a genuinely good feel good movie, and like the negotiations that went into play too for Michael Jordan, like his mom had a heavy part into like what Michael Jordan was contributing to.
Mhm.
So it's a really good movie. So before we get into the LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe like gameplay debate, just watch the movie and under like you'll see like a whole business side of Nike and Michael Jordan, when it took place back in like 1988, 1985, maybe,
Mhm.
whenever he, left college and was a rookie for the Chicago Bulls. And the rules they broke. So like Nike had rules that they had to abide by the NBA, and Nike was like, "Fuck it, we're gonna break these rules. We'll pay for the consequences. Like, this is gonna be such great publicity for us that to
Right.
make us seem like a badass brand kind of thing." So it was really, yeah, it was just a really cool movie. So if you after you watch F1, watch Nike Air on Amazon and
Okay.
let me know how you think, because that's a good feel good movie. That one gets me out of my slump if I'm ever feeling like bleh throughout the day.
Right. All right. Yeah, I'll check it. I'll check it out. I'll
Way to jump
definitely
right to
check that.
conclusions and start debating me.
Man, it's a hot topic, okay? I
Yeah.
get shot down. Everybody wants to argue with me because I'm a LeBron fan. So I'm like, all right, Shane, let's go. Dude, I like that though. I need to find like no, I just need to find more. Cause like mine right now, whenever I'm like down, I have one movie. It's called The Awkward Moment. It has Zac Efron in it, Michael B. Jordan, and Miles Teller in it. And it's literally just
Oh,
about like
yeah.
dating and like the awkward
Yeah,
moment
yeah.
between when do you really call it dating and do I want to take that step, right?
Yeah.
And dude, I freaking love that movie. If I have it on, my wife will be like, "What's going on? I know you need to talk. Like, let's talk." It's like, all right, that's my that's my go-to, man.
Yeah, I love those kind of movies.
Me
Like,
too.
I think now F1 being my new favorite, but like Air and then the other guys, just like if you ever want like a slapstick, brainless movie, the other guys with Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell is
Yep.
hilarious. Daddy's Home is hilarious. Like Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell just together are great duos because they're polar
I
opposites
agree.
in personality and like humor. And it's just great to mix them together. Um, but as far as like, let's just stick with this. Let's stick with this round. Is there any coaching movies or like sports movies that you like to reference or like think back to? Because like Coach Carter's a good one. I
Dude,
love
remember the Titans.
oh yeah, of course. Remember the
That
Titans.
is
That's a classic. Like I love that movie.
that is
And
my
falling back on
number
that one.
one.
Yeah.
But if you
That's
look like, I mean, if we take a deeper dive into that, I mean, we're gonna transition from our get a little off topic to bringing it
it's
back a little
well,
bit, right?
hey, it's all about pivoting later. So this is gonna
Yep.
help us pivot.
But with that being said, remember the Titans is number one for me.
Mhm.
I love the way Denzel portrays being a coach and bringing people together. Like, there's so much where it's not just about football, right?
Mhm.
It is about everything and how he tries to bring everything together, but then
Mhm.
also the hardships that he's facing, right? And how he's sort of walking a line and there's it's either succeed or you're screwed, right? And
Yeah.
Coach Carter was another great one. Like I loved Coach Carter. Oh my gosh, the name of the movie is leaving my tongue. It's about De La Salle. So they had a point in time. They're a high school football team. They had a point in time where they were they hadn't lost a game in like 3 seasons or something like that. And the other schools in their district and stuff were like, we don't want to play you because you guys cheat. And they're like, we're not cheating. And so they're like, okay. we'll stack our schedule with these like nationally ranked teams, right? So they play Cal Poly, and everybody's like, good luck, they can't win, whatever. And I think they ended up winning that game. But it's just really cool to see the development throughout the movie, because the coach is trying to, he wants these guys to be good football players, but he also wants them to be good men. And you see this happen through the whole movie, how these guys sort of just grow into these men. And at the end is where you really see it. And dude, that one's a really good one. I love that. And then honestly, I love Rocky and all that stuff that's like old school, but the first Creed, out of the Creed series, that very first one.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Dude, I love that movie. Like I could watch it all the time. And I just think that, you know, how he portrays himself as Michael B. Jordan's coach and stuff like that. I love it. I love the grit. I love how he pushes through, but I also love like when he gets sick, how Michael B. Jordan's like, nah, if you ain't fighting, I ain't fighting. And like pushes him to fight. So they're coaching each other essentially, right? And so those I would have to say are probably like some of the biggest ones that have had some kind of effect on my style of coaching.
Yeah, no, those are great movies. I love Denzel Washington's mindset too, and then to kind of bring in some more context around Denzel Washington, like or the remember Titans like time period is in the 60s, right? Like yeah, it was in the 60s, and just all of the racial stuff they had to go through.
Yeah.
Right. That time period, all of the resilience that he had to have a team that was both black and white, like that, and where he was at in the environment. That's another piece of what I appreciate about Remember the Titans, is just showing that it's more than football, like you were saying. Like it's about developing people here, and that's the infamous left side, strong side, and that when they form that bond with each other, and that's when Denzel can see like it's working. Like my tough coaching, whether it's tough love or however you want to say it, it's like, yeah, they need this tough love, they need this tough mentality to be resilient against what's happening outside of football. They need to, come together in this camaraderie, to kind of bring in the same sort of almost same era, but different coaching. We Are Marshall, that took place, I think, in the 70s.
Love that one.
Yeah, that's more about like rebirth. I love that coaching. I love Matthew McConaughey in it too, but he's trying to create a team off of this devastating, accident, and have them just be reborn again into a family and into a team like they were before. I don't know if you ever watched this one, but The Fighter.
Yep.
That one's a great one.
Watch that one.
That
one's
one,
good.
like I love how that one's all. I disconnected for a second. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said that one's a good one, but
Yeah.
hot take, dude.
What's
outside of Batman, I don't think Christian Bale's that great of an actor, bro.
Oh, geez.
This one might get me into deep water. Like, I love Fighter.
Oh, boy.
But maybe it's the characters he plays where I just am not in love with him. But I loved him in Batman, right? Where I wish I seen him more in that kind of a role than the other roles that he's taken.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So maybe not a bad actor, but like, I wish I seen him in different roles, type of thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Christian, you're good. You're good. No, I would say Christian Bale, and he's played. If you haven't seen this one yet with him, and now we're gonna go on this little tangent, but oh my goodness, what's it called? It's a gory movie. I'm gonna look it up right now. It takes place in the 1800s, like 1880s. It was right after the Civil War. And he's a captain, and he has to escort. Or no, it wasn't the Civil War. Sorry, it was oh my gosh, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna edit this pause out. I don't care.
You're okay. Well, honestly, like, and to fill it, I'm trying to sit here and think of the movies, and when you're trying to think of them, you sort of tend to forget some of them. So I'm like, all right, I need to look them up. Like, what are some of the?
Hostiles. So the movie is Hostiles. And I'm gonna read the description so I'm not like going off the rails. So it's an American Western drama film written blah blah blah. So this guy has to escort an Indian from Mexico territory where he's held captive to Montana, and Christian Bale's character, he's an army captain. He knows the trail, so he's being asked to escort him up, and he just has to go through a ton of environmental challenges and people that like get in his way. It's like a really sad story just because of it shows American history as well of like how we treated the Native Americans. But yeah, really great movie with Christian Bale in there. 310 to Yuma is really good with him in there as well. But yeah, the fighter, I like him in the fighter just because of he has to portray that guy like as a drug addict brother.
Mm-hmm.
But I like just the duo between Mark Wahlberg and him and their thing. But I was gonna bring this one up real quick is Miracle on Ice as well, the 1980s hockey team that won over Russia.
Yep.
That movie always gives me chills. Um, I love the underdog stories. I think those movies hit me the most is, and everybody, can probably agree with this too, is that every underdog movie is probably the best movie to watch. Because you always want the underdog to win, like Rudy.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Rudy is awesome.
Yeah.
Blindside.
Yep.
And then, because I'm looking them up right now.
Dude, when I forgot Freedom Riders, bro.
Oh yeah,
Freedom Riders
really
is
good.
amazing. And if you want to bring in a little bit of new school, I love Cobra Kai. Like
Yeah,
I
Cobra
love the
Kai is really good.
original Karate Kids, but
Mhm.
I do like the modern
I do.
day
Yeah.
shows and movies. I think it's like picture quality and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Cobra Kai, dude, I loved it.
I think Cobra Kai has a lot of like interesting. It's over dramatized, of course. Like there's no way that a lot of stuff that they go through is the common person, but at the same time, like there are good lessons to learn from that. And just kind of riffing off too with. No, I'm just like reading through all the other fucking movies I watched. From a business sports perspective and like how businesses are handled, Moneyball is really good and Draft Day.
Moneyball and Draft Day are great. I agree. I don't even like baseball, and Moneyball's amazing, bro.
Yeah. I've watched Moneyball so many times just because I love the character that Brad Pitt played. I'm a Brad Pitt fan, and man, crushing hard on that guy. But I shouldn't say him as a character, but like the guy he is acting as, like it's so cool to watch, like how they were trying to turn baseball into more than just a sport. Like he wanted to kind of almost like change the way baseball was played and like make his mark on the game and like the sport that way. But yeah, and Draft Day was great too because of just the faith, right? So Moneyball is about systems and strategy and like winning off of a small budget and all that. And then like Draft Day is about faith.
It's and like believing in yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like really making sure that at the end of the day, he's staying true to what he believes in and how he's going to operate the company, like the franchise and all that. So I love those. Yeah, well, we can sit and talk about movies all day because I
know, but
I
hold on,
movies.
One that's maybe the greatest that wasn't even mentioned, Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
If you want to be a good coach, or if you
want
to feel good, or you want to see how to navigate life, I feel like Ted Lasso does all of it, dude. I really do. I could watch that show a million times.
I could too. I've seen it so many times as well. And I think it's because that the writing, I want to call it skill, like the skill that went into writing that show was so perfect, right? They've got their awards, they've got like their accolades for that show because it was so well done. And I love that they had psychology in the back of mind of like the series. Like they wanted to hit on all of the different psychological things that people go through and then use Ted Lasso as like the therapist essentially to help people understand like their emotions, the thought process is what's okay, how to handle it like appropriately. And then also give like his own perspective or like his own insight of what he's going through. especially because like what he was going through is what so many other people go through as well, as like
Yep.
with divorces, anxiety, all that stuff. And it's such a feel good show. Like at the end of every episode, you're always feeling good, no matter like how sour it might like turn out in the
Yep.
middle of it. Like it still is just a great,
Dude,
great show. So I'm glad
one
you
of
brought
my
that one up, because I totally like forgot about that one.
one of my favorite things was just watching the transition of Jamie Tart, bro. Like, dude, no joke. Look at this shit.
Mm.
Jamie Tart, bro. Like, I loved watching him turn into a good teammate, a good human, not being so self-indulged. I love that. And you're gonna have to stop me at some point, because now you're talking and I'm like, dude, we got to talk about Shrinking. Shrinking is amazing. Like
Oh,
that
yeah, that's
but we're talking about like mentoring, coaching, all these kinds of things, dude. Like Shrinking is amazing.
Shrinking. So like let's say like Ted Lasso is very humanizing. Like it brings like a human element to everything. I love that. Like everything's relatable in Ted and Ted Lasso. Shrinking is gosh, it's like I'm trying to figure out how like the best way to describe it. It's like Ted Lasso, but like not sport, like no sports relation whatsoever. So it's just more of like a common, like everybody can relate to this kind of thing. But it's just, I love that it cusses more. I guess it's a more explicit version of Ted Lasso. I'll say that. That's what it is. It's just a more explicit version of Ted Lasso.
Try watching that with a therapist.
Yeah.
My wife will sit there and be like, he shouldn't be doing this. He shouldn't be doing this. She's
That's
like, this
true.
is giving me anxiety that
because
he's doing this. And
yeah,
I'm like,
it's all of the it's all the anti stuff you shouldn't be doing as a therapist. And it's like, it's probably stressful for therapists to watch it, but at the same time, like it's got to be funny for them as well, because they're like, yeah, there's no way in hell you can get away with this, but I'm glad it's like working out the way it is. So yeah, Shrinking's great. I love that show. That show is also another beautifully like written show that I hope has a lot of seasons to go along with it as well.
Agreed.
So I've rewatched that for, how many seasons is it? Like 3 or 4 now. I've rewatched all of them several times.
Yep.
I love that show. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Like it's like people don't watch TV, read books, don't watch movies, do this instead, go outside. It's like, you don't understand. Like there are some shows that are fucking great. Like there are some movies and seasons or like TV shows that are just so well written, you have to watch them.
Totally agree, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally no, I'm glad we brought those up, because those are good to talk about.
Oh man.
I'll have to rewatch them now. It's been a minute.
I know.
I've been hooked on Stranger Things.
I know. I binged the hell out of Stranger Things, dude. I watched it twice already.
Have you seen anything in the new season yet?
Yeah, I've watched the new season twice already.
Oh, you've watched the new season twice already?
Yeah, I'm like, did I miss anything? So I started watching it again. Dude, I loved it. You gotta understand, Stranger Things for me and my wife though. Stranger Things has been out 9 years. Me and my wife have been married 10.
Oh.
My wife watched 2 episodes of Stranger Things and she was like, baby, you got to watch this. This is so good. This is the one time I'm going to give my wife her flowers on TV shows, because typically it's me. I pick the good stuff. She gets it every now and then. But Stranger Things, she watched a couple. She's like, baby, you got to watch this with me. You'll like it. And bro, it's like, it's been our whole relationship. And it's crazy that it's coming to an end. Like, I'm not ready for it to end.
Yeah.
And I swear on my mother that if they kill Dustin or Steve, I'm going to freak out.
Don't give away too much yet.
Well, spoiler, they're both alive at the end of part 1. Sorry. I didn't mean to if you haven't watched it. I got carried away. You should have already had it watched, though, if you're a true fan, so...
Allison and I are watching the last episode before tonight, so...
The last episode's dope.
Yeah.
It is. Dude, just wait.
Okay.
I'm texting you tomorrow, and I'm going to be like, bro, what did you think about the last episode?
All right, sounds good. That's great.
All right, it sounds like we may need to pivot real quick, bro.
I think so, yeah. I think it's time to pivot. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
What was the question? Read off the question again, because I had my answer typed up, so I don't have it in front of me though.
So there wasn't really a question. It was just the
Oh, that's right. There
power
wasn't.
of the pivot
The
and
power of the
how it is not failure
yeah.
and it is not
Oh, of
quitting.
course not. Yeah, it's not. It's pivoting to me, like as I was typing this up, I'm like, I think I pivot too much. I think it's like it's not that I encounter roadblocks. It's just like I either get bored or I just change my mind or like something just distracts me or my attention goes elsewhere. I'm just constantly pivoting different directions. And as far as like it goes like with books, like TV shows, talking about like I can't finish a series to save my life sometimes. Unless like it's shrinking or Ted Lasso. That's something I just absolutely love. uh, I've only been able to finish like a handful of books in one sitting or like in a week because I love them so much. But if I get bored of it, I'll rotate to the next book. I'll rotate to the next book. And whether that's counterproductive or not, like it's up to each individual person. But I think I've mastered pivoting in my own way. I feel like being able to understand when it is time to pivot now. It's like when I was younger, I'd pivot just because I thought that was the right time to like make decisions, and I was just making choices just to make choices. But now I know strategically when it's appropriate to pivot. And me and words, man. Sometimes
It's
my
all
tongue
right,
is
man.
just slips.
You give
But
our viewers a good laugh, man.
yeah, I hope so. um, but pivoting for me never emotionally felt like quitting. It just felt like it was a detour. You're taking an alternate route. Like it means the direction you're currently on is no longer that useful direction. It's no longer the most efficient way to go somewhere, and you're just going to have to pivot from that there and adapt and adjust. And I think because of me being able to pivot, it made me more of an adaptable person. I think what's hard for me is not the decision itself; it's the emotions that are maybe tied on to what was
Mm-hmm.
happening before. It's harder for me to let something go that was working and
Mm-hmm.
not like, and I know it's not working anymore, and I've got to pivot to make a better decision to go somewhere else. It's hard for me to cut those emotional ties. That's what I hang on to the most. But it doesn't. I know my mind doesn't feel like I'm quitting. It's just a bummer because I value time and effort, and so when that time and effort feels like it's been wasted, I got to remind myself, like, no, it wasn't wasted. Like you got to this point from time and effort. You got to now adjust your direction and put time and effort in another way. Um, but if it's not working and it's easily seen as not working, then I'll pivot easily. No big deal. I got to move. I want to keep moving forward. I got to do something different. Um, I think when it's like coaching others,
Mm-hmm.
the hardest part about coaching others and telling them to pivot is convincing them that the pivot is necessary, because I think people always think of like the what ifs and the buts and the howevers and the like this is still working kind of thing, or like well, what if we keep trying? What if we're more persistent with it, and instead of changing the thought process or changing the behavior. uh it's the fear of change is what prevents people from pivoting in a different direction. It's like, well, this is all I know. Yeah, it is. And so if you want to be who you actually want to be, then you got to pivot into the unknown. You got to
Mm-hmm.
go the direction of where you're uncomfortable. um and that's that can be hard for everybody, you and me too. I'm sure there's been times where you needed to pivot and you're like, fuck, this is scary. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go this way. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this.
Well, just like roughly a year ago, I had to pivot. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, I think what you're talking about really does hit home, and a lot of people have been in this situation because for me, I learned a lot from this pivot that I made last year, and the pivot was my job.
Mm.
You know, at you're a little bit better of a human being than I am. I'm just gonna say it how I say it.
Shut
But
up.
um, when we were at Rise, I
Hmm.
felt stuck, man. But I
Mm.
knew I was good at what I did.
Hmm.
And so it was the security of like, I know that I'm good. They won't
Hmm.
let go of me. My
Hmm.
family's always supported. And having that in the back of my mind sort of stopped me from ever looking elsewhere until, you know, our boy, my boss, talked to me a little bit and, sort of helped me have more confidence in myself and my abilities and being
Mhm.
able to take those somewhere else. And I think doing that, talking
Mhm.
with him because he was so open and he was always willing to talk and give advice, and he was definitely more about taking care of you than like making sure you're putting the company first, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
so I think doing that, doing therapy, talking to my wife and having this support where I really did, just as a father and as a husband, dude, I had this huge fear that if I were to pivot, that I would let my family down because I would mess it up somehow.
Mhm.
Like, why take this thing you're good at
Mhm.
and push it to the side to go try something new? That's a
Mhm.
scary thought. But at the
Mhm.
end of the day, I mean, it took months and months of talking about this before I finally was like, you know what? You're right. I got to do it. Like, I remember
Mhm.
my therapist saying, like, just because you're applying doesn't mean you're leaving.
Mhm.
You are just seeing what's out there. You
Mhm.
get to pick that job just like that job gets to pick you.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you're right. I got to try this. And now where I'm at, I'm so glad I pivoted, because I am now more available for my family. I'm not so stuck in my job. There are opportunities to move forward, and
Mhm.
it's not because of the way you talk, your religion, how you carry yourself, the way you dress, whatever it may be. The company that I'm at now really just cares about the effort that you put in and the work that you put in. And
Mhm.
so I don't have any of these underlying issues from before. And now I have opportunity in my life. And
Mhm.
so when I made this change, dude, there was I'm just gonna exaggerate this like crazy, but like, dude, there was such a fear. But
Mhm.
being able to take that step and pivot honestly opened my life into new ways. I'm able to open up my own coaching business because my job now is 40 hours, like I
Mhm.
can work more if I need to, but they want you to try to keep 40. They want you to have a balance of your life and work. And so
Mhm.
it was like, all right, well, now that I have this extra time on my hands, now I can pursue the things that I really like. I can really
Mhm.
start coaching. I can work on educating myself a little bit more to be a better coach, to be a better
Mhm.
mentor, right? And
Mhm.
instead of working 80 to 100 hours year round,
Mhm.
and never having time for anything else, missing those things with your family. And so,
Yeah.
I think you're hitting it perfect where when you were just talking about how scary it can be to pivot,
Mhm.
because it truly is scary if you've been in a situation for, a prolonged amount of time. There is a fear that comes along with
Mhm.
leaving that specific situation.
Mhm.
And so I'm really glad you brought that up. And I'm glad that I could talk about my experience because
Mhm.
you brought up a point that, you know, really just hit the nail on the head.
Mhm.
And we can give people full circle of like, hey, Shane's talking about this. Brett's experienced it within the last year. Like, just listen to this, I'm really no, that was a good point, and thanks for bringing that up, man, and giving me an opportunity to share that pivot that I had to make because maybe somebody's out there in the same position, and it's like it's okay. You're gonna
Mhm.
be okay. Like,
Mhm.
believe in yourself,
Mhm.
and you're gonna kick ass wherever you go.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely right. I think when people finally get through that first phase of tackling what's out there, like getting through the unknown,
Hmm.
because it's just like I don't know if you want to put a visual to it. You have a flashlight, all right? You have a path in front of you, taking the flashlight on. The path is clearly it's a smooth path, easy path, but you have to pivot to a new direction where there is no path and it's just complete darkness. And you got to take that flashlight and it's illuminate what's out there, but you don't know what's out there. Once you start walking down that path, then things kind of just start happening. And the path suddenly just doesn't just become, I guess, I don't know if this is a bad or good analogy, not the end of the day, but the path essentially is like, yeah, it's rocky. You end up like stumbling over some things. There's some like a brush that you might have to clear out. But at the end of the day, like you look back and you're like, holy shit, like I've walked so far and I've cleared this path on my own and I'm still here. I'm still making it. I'm still making things happen. I'm being successful, on this new direction. I think that's that's the first phase. And then once you start getting comfortable walking through the unknown, then you start kind of predicting like, okay, what's next? What's going to come next? Like, what do I need? How do I need to set myself up for success for if there's a bigger hill to climb or a rockier ledge or more brush in the way? Like what tools do I need to set myself up with? That's like the beauty of pivoting and changing course is what new skills do I need to learn in order to be more prepared for that unknown. And then the unknown doesn't become as scary anymore. It just becomes a comfort that like a necessary comfort of like, cool, I can handle whatever's going to come at me and say, you don't do it out of fear anymore. You can do it out of like your own choice of this is the better option. I'm going to pivot over in this direction now because this is the best option for me, my family, my team, whatever the case may be. And I'm not scared to take it. You have all the courage and confidence in the world to finally make that decision. And you're like, this feels normal now to make these decisions and to make these changes. I think that comes with experience for sure. Like when you're kind of feeling things out and you get so used to one thing, and once you start learning something new, you're like, oh, I'm going to suck at this. This is going to be awful. And you're not, right? Like you kind of learn as you go. Like me pivoting into a whole new industry, right? Like all I knew was trade shows and health and wellness and other things. But now I'm going into tech, like software, telecommunications. I know nothing about that. I'm glad that I was a solid choice. Like they could have totally chosen somebody else that had more background than me in telecommunications and software, but I'm pivoting into this whole new thing, and the training's been intense, mentally intense of like remembering everything. But I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to like this is a new thing that's coming towards me. And I've pivoted so many times in my past, younger 20s, mid 20s to now. This isn't scary. It's just I'm more scared of what if I say the wrong word, like I say on this podcast? What if I mispronounce something? Like it's not the fear of learning anymore or the fear of the unknown. It's more the fear of like what happens if I mess up? Like what's the mistake consequence going to be?
And with you saying that, like one thing that stuck out earlier was where you were like, you said it might suck or something, and you're like, no, I'm gonna rephrase it a little bit, but like honestly, it's okay if you suck. Like you're trying something new. I mean, we're talking about a path, right? You're taking a new path. You don't have to take all the paths that have been laid out in front of you. And guess what? If you start a new path, there might be a part of that sucks. There might be a part of that where you suck, but it's okay. Push past that because that is a learning point. That is a teaching point, and that's going to teach you something about yourself. And once you get past that, now it's just on to the next. Now what can I accomplish? Because I got through this, right? So I love that you brought that up too.
I think embarrassment needs to come to mind as well, of like the fear of being embarrassed, of not knowing what's going on, So I'm going to fall back on these two words, I think, my entire coaching career, but there's complex and there's complicated. Like you have systems that are complex, but your emotions make things complicated. Because I was like deep diving in my head of like, okay, complicated, complex, how am I going to like explain the two? Because most people are going to think those two are the same words and they're not. So like complex is systems, complicated is emotions. So, you could make a pivot into a complex situation and be scared and be afraid of being embarrassed. But you're making it complicated because of your emotions. Take your emotions out of it and leave it as a complex thing. Like you're learning something new. It's okay. Yeah, it's going to suck for a little bit, but you'll be okay. You'll master it eventually if you stick with it, but yeah. And I kind of like to reflect a little bit, like for better understanding, I guess, a more relational thing is like when I was doing sports, I started off, let's see, I did roller hockey. I'm going to try to go in order, chronological order of what I started with. So I did roller hockey, terrible at that. I was just spinning in circles. I did gymnastics for like a freaking day or two. Terrible at that. Didn't like jumping around as much. Did indoor soccer, and then went from indoor soccer, that was okay, didn't mind that too much, to baseball. Played baseball, didn't like it, didn't like standing around. So then I went to football, did that for just one season, hated getting hit. Oh, dude, I was just a small guy, so I was getting tossed around all over the place. Went back to baseball, went back to soccer. I kept pivoting to these different sports. Wasn't good at really any of them. Like soccer was probably the best one because I loved running, and it wasn't that hard to play. But I knew it wasn't like my forever sport. But then swim lessons, my mom wanted to make sure that I actually know how to swim so I wouldn't drown. And at the end of swim lessons, the instructor came up to my mom and I, and she was like, "Hey, I want to put him on the swim team. He's actually a naturally really good swimmer." That didn't even cross my freaking mind. I just thought, like, I just love the water. I thought I was a good swimmer because I love the water and I was comfortable in it.
Mm-hmm.
If she did not give me that recommendation of trying swim team, I would not have made that like a young, career out of it. And I that's made me like fall in love with the water even more. And I became really successful at swimming because of that one recommendation. So I had to pivot from all those different sports because I wasn't good at any of them. I wasn't like fully in love with them. But then when it came to swimming, I'm like, holy crap, this is great. Like, and each one, of course, every sport that I tried, terrible at. And swimming, I was terrible at first. But for some reason, like that was the one I just loved. That's where people need to realize, like, yeah, you're going to have to make a bunch of different changes in your direction, but then you're going to fall into something, whatever that something is, that you're just going to absolutely love, and you're going to suck at it, but still love it.
And
so
I think with where we're at right now in this, I think it's a perfect time to really like talk to parents in this of allow your kids to pivot at a young age. Being a youth sports coach and mentor, allow them to pivot. Both my daughters have done gymnastics. Both of my daughters have done tumbling. Both of my daughters have done cheer. Both of my daughters have done soccer. And my oldest daughter has done football and basketball. And my youngest daughter's done basketball. Bro, my youngest is 6, my oldest is 9, and they've already done all those sports already. But by allowing them and supporting them in that pivot when they want to try something new, or if they don't like something, allowing them to go to something else, it has now allowed them, at least for my oldest one, my youngest one is still figuring it out, but it has allowed my oldest one to find the ones that she loves. She loves basketball and she loves flag football. So now we know those are the 2 sports that she wants to play. That's where I'm going to give all of my energy. Where a lot of parents, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and believe that they support their children in that way. But I also know a lot of parents that are like, I played football, my kid plays football. I played softball, my kid plays softball. Your kid ain't you. Allow your child to try all these different sports and support them in the one that they find, because that's when they're truly going to love it. Nikki practices basketball. So far this year, the schedule's been a little crazy for me and her, so we haven't lived up to it like we did last winter and over the summer. But as of right now, I worry about burnout with my daughter, but she hasn't burnt out yet. And I think it's because I allowed her to find the sports that she loved. In the fall, bro, she was training 6 days a week. The only day she had off during the week was Sundays. And that's because she was training for football and basketball, and then also include games on those days, right? And now, thankfully, she gets to rear it back a little bit and it's just basketball. But if dad would do better, which I'm going to, basketball is 4 to 5 days a week. And so my 9-year-old loves going and putting in the work 4 to 5 days a week already, because I allowed her the opportunity to find the thing that she loved the most, and I just supported her in it. And honestly, that's just going to translate into school, into her job. Like, she's learning her work ethic through sports that she's going to be able to implement into other parts of her life.
Nice.
And so sorry for jumping in and
No, you're
doing all
good.
that, but I
You're,
wanted to make sure that, like, we're talking about like
yeah.
that. Let's hit that. Let's
Mhm.
really, parents, really support this, because for one, your kids are going to learn how to pivot the correct way, right? My kids, you're not allowed to pivot until the season's over. You
Mhm.
don't quit mid-season. So
Mhm.
my kids know they can't quit
Mhm.
something until they finish it.
Mhm.
That goes for school too. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So I just I thought that was a really good point that you brought up, and a transition that you made into like talking about the times you had to pivot. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, hold on, man, I got to jump in here and
Yeah.
really throw this one out there, because I think it's a great opportunity for people to learn, or maybe reflect on and be like, oh, I haven't done this. Maybe I should try this.
No, that's absolutely true. I'm glad you brought all that up because I think that's super important, especially for people who want to play sports for a long time. Like they should be able to pivot and choose different sports or different athletics throughout the year, and once they really fall in love with it. I think like high school level, like maybe eighth grade, so whatever that age group is, like 14. So once you hit 14 is when you kind of become more serious about one sport, or if you're like a multi-sport athlete and you can play multiple sports throughout the year without them like conflicting schedules. I think that's really important. At 14 is when you start deep diving into, okay, like here's more consistent training regimens. Here's going to be more intense. We're going to do more skill-based training. We're going to do more mental preparations. Like that's where the fear of burnout is more prevalent. But like before 14, yeah, let your kids do whatever you want. Like let them make sure that they're happy and that they're feeling fulfilled, and they are able to participate and they are developing like those young skills they need for everyday life, basically. Because from my take, like growing up and learning, like if you want to be the best athlete ever, you do have to put in a lot of time and effort. Again,
you
time and effort. Like you want to be the best, time and effort.
you do.
And
They actually say 10,000
yep,
hours of
yeah,
practice, not
yep,
games,
yep,
practice,
yep,
is what it takes to be a D1 athlete.
yep. 10,000 hours of 10 years. So imagine you want to be a D1 athlete at 18. Cool. So you got to start at 8. This is
Hmm.
theoretically, right? Like if parents are really paying attention, okay, at 8 years old, my kid's going to be a D1 athlete. I got to get him into these year-round programs to make him a D1 athlete. Um, Again, there's variables that play
Yeah.
into like, is it like how much of a natural athlete are they? And
Yeah.
then how much of it's, again, time and effort going into practices and becoming that athlete. And then others might just pick up on it at the last second and be a natural athlete at it, like a year or two into it. Um, so there are things that play, but again, the highest success rate for anybody is, and everybody and whatever what you're doing is the amount of training you put into it, the quality of training, and then also recovery is important. I think
Hmm.
as you develop young athletes and even in professional realm, people don't think about this as like in their career, like, how much you need to recover mentally, emotionally, physically, because there's a lot of things like if you, especially if you have like a high stressful job, recovery is doubly important for that. And regardless though of what position you're in or what your status is or like your career growth, you got to plant days throughout the week of recovery with that, whatever that may be. Like for me, I need alone time. I need to be isolated. I need to be quiet. I need to be dark. I need it to be a moment where I am just lost in my thoughts and I'm letting my mind wander. Nature is also great for me. Like if I'm out in the mountains or on a long solo drive somewhere,
Hmm.
love that. That resets me as well. I just need to be isolated. And I shouldn't say isolated, solitude. I always say isolated because I'm like, I love isolating myself. But people are like, no, I'll say solitude. Solitude's like probably the better way to describe this. And I think athletes need that, if we're going to start putting a strict training regimen on them, recovery. You had to have built-in
Hmm.
recovery days. If you're doing like, especially like, yeah, 6 days a week, Sunday's a great day to recover too. It's just it's a resting recovery, but then there's active recoveries that are necessary as well, where
Yep.
you're still training, but it's a lighter load. And this is what our coach would put on us. Like we had some like stressful, we'd have some heavy weeks, but she would make sure that one of those days in the heavy week would be like an active recovery day where
Yep.
you're still getting like the benefit of the physical workout in, but it's not taking as much of a toll on you physically and mentally. And you can have that kind of day to like say wander, like I would let my mind wander during practices because those were like the mental reset days that I needed to get back into the groove of focusing again on what I was learning. So yeah, great points. But I think just again, like just 10,000 hours. It's a lot of hours. Like
It
that's
really is.
it's incredible that that's what it takes. And that's consistent training with a regiment, with a plan. It's not just going out to the gym and,
Mm-mm.
I'm going to lift 25 pounds today and lift 50 like tomorrow. That's not how this works. It's just,
Nope.
it has to be a consistent, progressive plan. And no matter the age, no matter what you're trying to do. And even with, this is like kind of what I'm trying to instill in the career aspect, like in the personal life too. You can look at how you handle relationships, your professional development, um, by taking the courses that you need to take. But you can't just digest a like year-long course or a 3-month long course in a matter of weeks. You may
Mm-hmm.
try, but you're not going to be able to actually like remember anything. None of it's going to be useful.
Right.
You got to actively practice that. Say, even if you learn it in 3 months, you still got to actively practice that for so many hours, because some certifications require a certain amount of hours for you to
Yep.
go through with it. Um, and kind of bring it back to the pivoting part. You can start a course or a class that you think is necessary and realize it's not necessary and pivot away from that and go somewhere else, learn
Mm-hmm.
something different. Yeah, no, there's a lot to learn from pivoting and like burnout and making sure like you're not reaching that point. And so, yeah, if you feel like you're close to burning out, pivot away and go a different direction to prevent yourself from burning out. Yeah.
Totally agree. I mean, for me and my wife, let's say me and my wife, right? A way that we pivot is when we start to feel like the tension and everything. That's when we know we need a night for just like mom and dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is for the both of us, speaking for her. Hopefully she doesn't listen to this and be like, that's bullshit. But like for both of us,
You're gonna
man,
hear it tomorrow or
right?
Thursday. I mean,
For both of us, we just we love our time together.
Mhm.
So sometimes when our schedules are just nuts, because I can tell you, my wife and being a I think it's director of mental health, and then being I think it's an adjunct professor. Doing that takes a lot out of her.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, I'm
I'm
sure. Yeah.
I'm a project manager over some pretty big um, projects, and then I have my own coaching business, and then I also coach.
Mhm.
When life is starting to build up, I just want time with my wife. I love
Mhm.
my kids, but I want time with my wife. That is my core. That is my rock.
Mhm.
Like, let's go out and have a night. I need to pivot from our everyday. Like, if Nikki has practice, we're canceling tonight because I need a night for us,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And for myself, as far as like everyday life, I wouldn't say that I necessarily pivot. There are moments where I have to pivot, right? But for my rest and my recovery and to avoid the burnout, I have to utilize the gym. I have
Mhm.
to. I have found that that is my space to go and just have my me time.
Mhm.
I don't have to worry about everybody else I don't have to worry about all the guys that are working on my project. I don't have
Mhm.
to worry about my kids. I don't have to worry about my wife. In that moment, I can focus on me. And
Mhm.
then, so I need that. And then, like my daughter, I would say roughly like every 6 weeks, man, I allow her to pivot from her training. And it's like, you take a week off.
Mhm.
I don't want you getting burnt out. I'm sorry, but there's nothing that I've seen that her taking a week off every 6 weeks or so
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
is holding her back, right?
Mhm.
If anything, I think it makes her enjoy it more
Mhm.
because she gets that break and she goes out that next week ready to go.
Mhm.
And so that's just the thing that I found with her that works, like based on the time. Like once we get around that 6 weeks, she'll be like, Dad, do I have to go? And it's like, nope, we're taking a week off. Oh, okay, cool. And
Mhm.
then the next week, Dad, do I have basketball? Yeah. All right, cool.
Mhm.
So I think just being aware of what's going on, knowing when to make that pivot away from just your normal everyday schedule,
Mhm.
that helps so much. So
Yeah.
just try to focus on like, hey, it's really as simple as like lifting in the gym. I tell my clients, right? When we're lifting, when your body starts to feel tired, like if you come to the gym and this weight feels heavier than it did before, or if you are just like, I'm exhausted, that means that it is time to either take a complete week off or we're deloading the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
That means we're working at 60% of our working reps
Mm-hmm.
or our working weight.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're almost cutting it in half,
Mm-hmm.
but you need that or you're going to get hurt. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to burn out, whatever. And so, just keep it simple like that. If you notice, hey, I'm really starting to get tired, I'm really exhausted, maybe it's time for you to take a week to just back up, pivot, back up. What can I do this week that would allow me to relax? What could I
Mm-hmm.
do this week that would allow me to reset,
Mm-hmm.
right? And be ready for everything again.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah. There you go. Well
I'm
said.
with you on that, man.
I like that. Cool. I think that's a good stopping point there.
All right. I'm cool with that.
Right on.
And thank you guys. Thank you, Shane. You're amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Brett.
Yeah, in a few days we'll have everything ready to go. Even though I'm gonna post this when I'm saying this, so Shane will cut this shit out.
Now that you said that, I'm not.
Oh, you motherfucker. That's all good.
You're giving me ammo. It's all right. I give myself ammo. You give me ammo.
Hey, that's what we do, man. That's what we do.
Right on. All right.
To be honest with you, I loved today. I felt like we were just rolling today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Felt like it was good.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, all right, man.